reason you can't find the blueprint is because you are the blueprint.
Y'all, he has trained hundreds to become transformational speakers. He's the creator of Bible U that helps people interpret, understand, and apply the Bible. He is a loving father and a loving husband. Give a round of applause for Pastor Darius Daniels.
God's plan. I hold back sometimes I won't.
Come on, we can do better than that. Let's make some noise, everybody.
Might go down to G-O-D.
Listen. Y'all tired? No! I say y'all tired? No! I've never seen anybody make big impact with low energy.
Big energy.
Energy is currency. It's something you sow in the present to reap something you want in the future. So I'm gonna try that one more time. Who's ready to go to another level? Let me hear you make some noise. What's up? Listen, you have to sit down. Incredibly excited to be here. Shout out, honor to Myron and everyone. I want to get right to work, and I want to ease into this introduction with a question. Here is the question: are there any dreamers in this room? Well, let me hear how big your dream is by how loud your scream is. Yeah. See, when I say dream, I'm not talking about what you see with the eyes in your head. When I say dream, I'm talking about what you see with the eyes in your heart. The eyes in your head give you sight. The eyes in your heart give you vision. The eyes in your head help you see today. The eyes in your heart help you see tomorrow. The eyes in your head help you see to the corner. The eyes in your heart help you see around the corner. Because the eyes in your head give you sight, but the eyes in your heart give you vision. And vision is simply a picture of a preferred future. It is a sneak preview of a coming attraction. It is insight into something that you hadn't experienced yet. It is a glimpse of your tomorrow while you're still standing in your today. Vision, without it, people perish. Without it, people cast off restraint. Without it, people plateau and experience seasons of stuckness and stagnation and paralysis. Vision changes everything. It's a dream. But what if I told you that the dream you have might not be your dream? Yeah, that just because you have the dream doesn't mean you own the dream. Just because the dream is in your possession doesn't mean it's your dream. What if the dream that you have is a dream that you're actually holding for someone else? What if the dream that you have for yourself is a dream God actually has for you, and God is giving you that dream because he wants to give you a picture of it, because the only way you have a passion for it is if you have a picture of it. It's called the law of exposure. Once you've been exposed, you can't be unexposed. Exposure awakens in you an appetite for something that you didn't even know you wanted until you got exposed to it. You didn't even know it was possible until you got exposed to it. And that's the reason some of you are not the same person you were when you walked in this room. Your age hadn't changed, your height hadn't changed, your ethnicity hadn't changed, but your appetite has changed. And I want to know, am I talking to anyone in this room who will say, my appetite is bigger? If you want more, I want you to shout, I want more. I want more. Yeah, it's It's appetite. And I need to tell you something. If you want more, you don't just get more simply by wanting more. It is direction, not intention, that determines destination. There is a principle of the path. And if you really want more, there are three things that I really feel like you need to understand, embrace, and implement. I want to know, do I have your permission to share these three things with you? I want to know, do you want me to share these three things with you? Okay, I need to know, do you want me to share these three things with you now? I mean, do you want me to share these three things with you right now? Okay, here it is. Since you asked, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Number one, this is the first thing you need to understand. It's a principle I call the principle of perception. Here it is. You will always behave in a way that is consistent with the way you see yourself.
That's right. Come on now. That's so good. Come on.
Myron just finished talking about it. Identity. As a man thinks, so is he. How far you go, how much you grow, is not just determined by what you believe about God. It is equally impacted by what you believe about you. And some people are spiritual and stuck, not because they got God wrong. They're stuck because they don't have themselves right. The way you see God might not be the problem. Sometimes the problem is the way you see you. And there's this narrative that unpacks this in an incredible way, where there's these group of people in Numbers 13 who have an opportunity to optimize their life. They've got an opportunity to possess what's been promised. They have an opportunity to step into their potential, but their promise was occupied with opposition in the form of giants. And instead of engaging in a fight that they would win, they became intimidated by the adversity, and they didn't even try. And they said these words: there are giants in their land, and we are like grasshoppers in our own eyes. Because sometimes it takes a giant opportunity or giant adversity to show you how you really see you. See, just because I'm not thinking low about myself doesn't mean I'm thinking right about myself. And sometimes the thing you need to scale and the thing I need to scale is how you see you. I gave you one of them. I've got a question. Do you want me to give you the second one? Do I have your permission to give you the second one? Do I have your permission to give you the second one now? Do I have your permission to give you the second one right now? Okay, here it is, since you asked. It's the principle of partnership.
Come on now.
You can't do your best work or be your best self by yourself.
Well, say that.
Success requires a squad. A dream that's bigger than you will always require more than you. You don't go as far as your dream, you go as far as your team. You need people in your life who are rich where you're poor.
Well, say that.
People in your life who are as good at what they do as you are what you do. This is called relational intelligence. It is the ability to determine who should be in your life, what place they should occupy, and how to manage those relationships accordingly. It is the ability to define and align relationships. I believe that everyone is equally valuable, but everyone does not add equal value to you. And when you recognize that someone adds unique value, then sometimes that is a partnership that must be pursued. Because most of the people you want to partner with are good. And if they're good, they're busy. The devil is not the only one busy. Everyone is equally valuable. They don't bring equal value to you. And sometimes the answer is not what, it's who. It's the principle of partnership. I gave you two, but I don't think you want the third one. This side definitely doesn't want the third one. I said, I don't think you want the third. Do I have permission to give you the third one? Do you want me to give you the third one? Do you want me to give you the third one now? Do you want me to give you the third one right now? If you want it right now, say right now. Okay, here's the third one. It is the principle of purpose. And purpose is always an answer to a problem. Purpose is the reason for the creation or the existence of a thing, and when any creator creates something, they create it to solve a problem. The creator of the light bulb created it to solve a darkness problem. The creator of a car created it to solve a transportation problem. The creator of some medicines created it to solve a medical problem, because creation is an answer to a problem. And when people are clear on the reason for their creation, they're solving problems. When they are not clear, they're creating them. I have a question for you. Well, I got a statement first, and the statement is, you are an answer to problems that exist on the earth. And when you do not carry out the reason for your creation and solve those problems, you contribute to the accumulation of problems that the next generation has to inherit. So instead of fighting their giants, they're fighting their giants and our Goliaths. I want you to see how what you've been hearing over the course of these past few days is not optional. This isn't a hobby. This isn't I saw this guy on YouTube, I am intrigued, let me come and see what he's talking about. This is an awakening. This is a defining moment. This is something that's been curated and orchestrated so that you can understand the necessity of something that you've been treating as an accessory. Because if you know you've been created to be answers to problems, and if you know that you have answers to problems, what are you doing about it? Don't you care that some people's problems are going unsolved? Because you won't offer an answer? Catch it. I'm going to see if you... I'm going to give you a minute. I said, do you know that some people's problems are going unsolved because you won't offer? Okay. I'm going to say it one more time. Do you know that there are some people in pain, some people emotionally or financially or relationally paralyzed? Do you know that there are people that are plateauing in their careers, plateauing in their health because you won't offer an answer that they don't know you have until you offer it? If you know You are an answer to problems that exist on the earth. My question is, why aren't you offering those answers? You need to make more offers, because it is only when you're making more offers that you can solve more problems. Your offer, am I making sense here? See, I believe people that are dream driven. I was talking to a young man in the back, and we're just talking about like fulfillment and finances and stuff like that. And my philosophy is, if all you want is some money, your standard's too low. Because the highest form of compensation is not finances, it's fulfillment. I want people to get all the money they want so that they can see that there is a degree of fulfillment that can't be obtained by the accumulation of possessions. There's a degree of fulfillment that only comes through the accomplishing of purpose. It's not consumption, it's contribution. And people that don't understand that difference don't understand the difference between standard of living and quality of life. And one affects the other, but they are not the same. And I know they're not the same because I've got one foot in both worlds, in the marketplace and in ministry. And so I get to see stuff on the ministry side y'all don't get to see on Instagram. Because when it all fall apart, they come see me. And I know it doesn't matter the thread count on the sheets of the bed. I know it doesn't matter the square footage of the house. I know it doesn't matter how many cars in the garage. There are people with cars in the garage who feel like they're going nowhere. Surrounded by an entourage and are still lonely. Bank account full, heart empty. You pour in the wrong place. And those individuals often anesthetize their pain in compulsive, self-sabotaging behaviors, or medicate that pain through a degree of substance abuse to give them a relief from a life that money can't fix. So should we be profitable? Yes. But there's a difference between being profit-driven and purpose-driven, dream-driven. And I believe that I believe people that are dream-driven develop offer mastery, because making an offer is actually offering your answer. It is loving people enough to say, I got an answer for that. It is wanting to see people win enough to say, you don't have to figure that out. I figured it out for you. It is being generous enough with your own adversity that you're willing to say that it cost me tears, it cost me money, it cost me time, it cost me mistakes to learn this lesson. But I love you too much to let you have to learn the lesson the same way. So let me give you in a day what it took me decades to learn, because I understand I'm here to be an answer. And I can say this with confidence because this is something that I struggled with, and I had to have a huge mindset shift. I thought that the making of offers was something that was, or not making offers, I thought it was humble. And so I was wrestling with this tension that I didn't even know, I didn't even know what to name. Now I know it was religious trauma. I didn't even know what to name it then. Because I was so arrogance obsessed Don't be arrogant. Don't be prideful. Don't be arrogant. Don't be prideful. Don't want too much. Don't be arrogant. Don't be prideful. Don't want too much. Don't be greedy. Don't be materialistic. I get it. But I was so obsessed with not being something that I wasn't obsessed with becoming all that I was called and created to be. And should we be conscious of pride and arrogance? Of course, it's a principle. It comes before a fall. But yet at the same time, the same adversary that is responsible for influencing people to think too highly of himself is the same adversary that is responsible for influencing people to think too low of themselves. And I have seen people who think too low of themselves deal with the same kind of consequences as those who think too high of themselves. Self-awareness is the first quadrant in emotional intelligence, and self-awareness isn't arrogant. Self-awareness is not just recognition of your weaknesses, it is also recognition of your strengths, because if you don't know what your strengths are, you can't steward them well. If I'm making sense, just wave at me. Let me see. Yeah. If I don't know what my strengths are, I can't steward them well. And I can say this with confidence because for me, and this is not for everybody, I get it, but for me, the ultimate expression and embodiment of humility is Jesus. And if awareness of who you are is arrogant, you have to call him arrogant, because much of what you know about him, he said about himself. He said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. He said, destroy this temple, and in 3 days, I'll raise it back. I'll do it again. You take this from me, I'll do it again. If this business crumble, I'll do it again. If this falls apart, I'll do it again. He said that about himself. Awareness is not arrogance. You have to be aware. And I see this in this example. I see this, it's like clearly captured here. Matthew 11 says, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, learn from me. I'm gentle and humble in heart. You'll find rest for your souls. My yoke is easy, my burden is light. What is that, Darius? An offer. It is the clearest offer in human history. He's clear on who he's helping, weary and burdened. He's clear on the result they will get, rest. He's clear on the process or system they need to follow to get the result. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. And he is clear on what their experience will be like on the journey. My yoke is easy. and my burden is light. It is the clearest offer in human history. He said, if you're tired, I'm the answer. If you weary, I'm the answer. If you burden, I'm the answer. He offered his answer. Where would we be if he doesn't make that offer? What would your life be like if he didn't make that offer? And I want you to think about that when that imposter syndrome tries to stop you from making yours. Because your offer is their opportunity to change their life. Your offer is their opportunity to change their life. So when you don't make the offer, you are robbing them of an opportunity to change their life. Now, everybody lands here differently. I'm not trying to superimpose my worldview on others. But for me, because I am a person of faith, I do not believe that my welfare and well-being is totally dependent on the obedience of someone else. So what happens is, if I have been called and created to be a solution to someone's problem, my disobedience won't cause them to suffer forever. What my God will do, if I am not obedient, he will skip over me and find somebody that's got the courage to make the offer. They will not only solve that other person's problem, they get the compensation for the contribution that they made that I was unwilling to make. Because all compensation is it is a certificate of appreciation for the contribution that you've made to someone's life. That's what an offer is. It's an invitation that's extended to individuals to use your product or service to address their pain, increase their pleasure, or reach their potential in some area. Why would you not want to master that? Who doesn't want to master that? The only person that doesn't want to master that is a person that doesn't love people. It means you're okay allowing people to stay in pain they don't have to stay in. Or it means you're okay allowing people not to experience the kind of pleasure that they can experience. Or are you okay with people not reaching their potential in some area? Who doesn't want to master that? But I saw something, and I'm almost done. If y'all still okay, say, I'm good. Okay. Here it is. Here it is. I see something that's so important. Mastering this is not just mastering the creation of an offer. It is also mastering the communication of it. Now, I'm going to tell you, what I'm about to say really only matter to people who want to impact people. Because some people only want to get good enough at this to get compensation and not deliver a transformation. I don't know how to help you. It doesn't mean you can't be helped. It means I'm not the one. But if a person is serious, man, about helping people get transformations, then they're not just serious about the construction or the creation of offer. They're serious about the communication of it. I just read to you Matthew 11. Look how vivid it was. He didn't say, if you're tired, come over here. You tired? Come on. That's the essence of what he said, but he didn't say it that way. Because when you have something to say that's meaningful, you need to say it in a way that's memorable. But people only care about this who care about transformations and not just compensation. Because some people only want to be good enough to get paid. It's very vivid here. And I think it's important, if you allow me, can I have 5 minutes? What about 6:29? All right, here it is. I think it's important for us to lean into this a little bit, because what's amazing to me about what we read, this greatest offer in human history, is not just what was said, it was how it was said. He used his tongue as a paintbrush to paint an image on the canvas of the minds of the hearers. He was talking, but they were seeing. What he shows us is making an offer is actually casting a vision. Did you hear what I just said? Yeah. Offer makers are vision casters. And when I say vision caster, I'm comparing or I'm utilizing this term in a way that is similar to fishermen back in the day. And I'm comparing the communicator to a fisherman who casts a net into the water to catch fish. And as vision casters, we cast nets to catch people, because people don't catch vision, vision catches them. Vision casting is charismatically communicating a picture, a possibility in a way that captures the hearts and the resources needed to bring that vision to fruition. If you get the heart, the treasure comes with it. Where your treasure is, there your heart may be also. It is charismatically communicating a picture of possibility in a way that it captures the hearts and then the resources needed to bring that vision to fruition. The quality of the net, the quality of the offer, and the skill of the caster matter. I'm getting ready to go, get on a plane, and go to Northeast. But before I go, do I have your permission? Do I have your permission to give you a framework I created for vision cast? Do you want me to give you a framework I created for vision casting? Do you want me to give you a framework I created for vision casting now? Do you want me to give you this framework I have for vision casting right now? If you want it right now, say right now. Right now. Well, since you asked me to do this, something important, really quick. Cast the problem. Darius, why is this important? I'm in the people business. In ministry and marketplace, I'm people. And this is what I see. Sometimes you can't address a problem with people because they're not aware they got one. Am I making sense? Right? If you're in the economic empowerment lane, you help people get resources and get provision. Some people don't know how vulnerable being broke makes them. So they have somewhat awareness of a problem, but they don't have a vivid vision description that they're actually a frog in boiling water that hadn't consumed them yet. You are boiling to death. And by the time you feel it, it's going to be too late. And I see this. People not casting a clear enough picture of the problem and the implications of not getting it right. Because some people don't know how vulnerable they actually are. Wave at me if I'm making sense. Wave at me. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Cast the problem. Number 2, cast the possibility. Here's the problem, but here's what's possible. What would it be like if? What would it feel like if? All these in Matthew 11, by the way. Third thing, then cast the path. These are the steps you actually need to take to get to your desired destination. And then fourthly, you cast their participation. This is what is required of you to actually get there. Now I know something like this is a bit interesting, it's a bit challenging, and for some people it's a bit unnecessary. Maybe it's optional for you. It's not optional for me. It's not optional for me because on October 31st, 2019, I had one of the most significant losses in my adult life. By God's grace, both of my parents are still alive. I have one sibling. She's alive. Both of my in-laws are alive. But on October 31st, 2019, I had one of the most significant losses in my life. And it was probably a 16-month journey. One of my closest friends, my partner in ministry and in business, only a couple of years older than me. We had worked together 13 years. Closest thing I had on earth to a brother. 1 year during flu season, he caught the flu and could never shake it. He undergoes a series of tests, and at this time, he's 41. He undergoes a series of tests. They cannot find anything. And then eventually one doctor digs deep enough and they discover at 41 he has lymphoma. I knew his body needed to be strong enough to withstand the journey he was getting ready to go on. And so during that time period, I did everything I could to take work and redistribute it. And he would do chemo a week, rest, recover, still come back in the office, work. And he went through the cycle. Now, we were sitting in a meeting when he got the call, and the doctor said, "You're in remission." We're excited. We're ecstatic, and we're enthusiastic. Not even a year later, I started noticing something very similar to the symptom he couldn't shake when he had the flu. He couldn't shake the cough. And I started noticing cough, cough, cough. And I'm telling my wife, this doesn't look good. I'm concerned. His wife is sharing with us, this doesn't look good. We're concerned. They do testing. They can't find anything. They do biopsy. They find nothing. He progressively gets worse. I remember one day, and I can't go back to this restaurant now. Not right now. because it's the last place I had lunch with him. And it's a place called Spoleto at the Grove in Windermere, Florida. And I remember looking across the table, and his eyes are literally yellow. I said, it's not good. So my wife has some connections with a friend of hers whose husband, I think, was a hospital president or somewhere in management of the hospital, and we're able to get him in this hospital, and they find out that the biopsy was coming back clear because there was scar tissue that they were actually biopsying. And the cancer had returned. And by the time we find out about it, it's too late. So he goes to hospice. He wants no more treatment. So we have the privilege of a few days with him before he transitions. He had two daughters that went to college, one at Hampton University, the other one at Spelman in Atlanta. Both of them flew in. He did not want them to be there when he transitioned. I watched a man push death back. I watched him push death back until he got ready. He did not want them to be there. When he passed away. So, we're in the room, and they have a flight to go back to Houston. I clear everybody out of the room. He has a moment with his daughters, and then I walk in the room, and he looks at me from his hospital bed, and he said, "You got my girls?" I looked at him, and I said, "I got your girls." Until they walk down that aisle and say, "I do. I got your girls." And if the dude they say "I do" to decide he don't want them no more, I got your girls. I'm able to keep that promise. I've kept that promise. One graduated from Hampton University. She needed a car. We got her a car. One lives in Atlanta right now. She graduated from Spelman. She's going through a tough seat. I pay her rent every month. Listen to me. My wife told me they just informed the companies doing some massive layoffs. She's stressed. She don't have to be. She's stressing for nothing. She good. I'm able to keep that promise and be an answer. In an area where it deals with those that I love, because I got a revelation, then I'm an answer to others. See, I can solve this problem for them because I solve other problems for others. And so your situation, not my situation. And my situation is not your situation. But for whoever the Ramones are in your life, will you please make a decision to offer your answer, not simply for the purpose of the accumulation of possessions, but for the accomplishing of purpose, so that those that you love are never dependent on the generosity of somebody who don't love them. And if we will do these things, it will be said of us, as it was said of the early church, these are they that have turned the world upside down.